Hey crafty friends, Amanda here with Crafting with Amanda. Welcome to day 22 of 30 Days of Sketches, hosted by Christy's Beautiful Life. Our sketch today is Jackie Criddle Cassiani. Sorry about that, but I am focused on the left-hand part of her sketch. She has a double-page sketch, but I'm going to focus on the left-hand part. And I am continuing my series this month of using up Disney photos from a trip we took in '97 and then again in 2020. And these photos are from the live action show of The Lion King. And so I'm cutting some of them down, like the big Simba is 4x4 and all the rest are 3x4. And I thought at first maybe I was going to have them in that layout with the 3 and the 2, but then I realized no, I'm going to do some flip flaps, kind of make an interactive element to this. And so I'm going to have 3 photos, but I'm going to keep her original kind of design of the photos will be down the right hand side of the page. I'm going to have some stripes along it. I'm not sure what colors I want to use. I am, for my whole month, making sure that each page has the color Candy Apple on it. And then also one of the either Cricut cuts from the Mickey and Friends image set, or my friend Missy lent me a couple of her Disney punches that cut out Mickey heads in various sizes. So I'm looking at my pile of papers that I have scattered here on my desk. They've kind of been there all month, just piled up. And as I'm doing layouts, I pull from them, and I am photo focused. That's where I try to take my inspiration from. So I always start with my photos first. And even choosing which sketches were going to go with which photos, I took some time to kind of sort my photos into batches. And then I took those batches and looking at all of the sketches, kind of assigned them different days. So this was for, like I said, the day 22 sketch. And I think originally I was thinking that I would do a double page layout like Jackie has in her sketch, but every other layout except for I think the Electric Light Parade is a single page. So I'm going to go ahead and keep with that. So here I am putting those 4x6, 4x3 photos into that flip flap. And I just cut it off about a 1/2 inch above the top of the photo, and that gives me room to add the red scoreline adhesive to it. But then also I will go in with my score tool and make the crease a little stronger. So here's that red score tape, and I'm just going to put it right on the flap of the back side. And then normally I fold it under itself, but this time I'm going to put it under the photo of Simba. So for me, as long as the flap is under a photo or under something, I kind of feel like some of the mechanics are better hidden. But I did want that flap to be pre-scored, so you saw me do that there. So like I said, I'm just kind of tucking it up under the photo of Simba and then pressing it down here. And like I said, with me being photo focused, I went ahead and I'm just putting all of my photos on, and then I'm going to cut my paper to the length to work with my photos. In the past, I've created the layouts following patterns and cut everything exactly as they said, and then either the photos didn't fit or I felt like I needed to add a ribbon to fill in space, and that's fine too. But for me, switching to photo focus first has really worked better for my style of scrapbooking. So here I'm kind of pulling in those horizontal stripe papers that she has, and I thought I'd tuck in some more of the yellow, kind of bringing in more of the background behind the photos into the main page. I realized that I didn't need that full sheet of the black stars. It's black with the blue on it. So I cut, I believe, 2.5 inch pieces by 11 inches to kind of give the illusion of that 11 by 11 frame or center. And this is my coloring book that I picked up, and I'm just looking to see if there's anything in it. I thought I remembered seeing this kind of like a flyer, or that's not what they're called, but where they go out and they plaster the wall with all of the posters. And so I'm going to take my shimmer brushes. If you watched if you watched the one earlier video with us in Lion King, the Kilimanjaro Safari's also had a page in the coloring book, and I colored all that in with colored pencils, and my hands just killed me because I have had arthritis now, unfortunately, for over 25 years diagnosed. So I like the shimmer brushes because there's no real resistance, but they're not as tight of coloring. They're a little more free flow and you can't get as detailed. So that's what I did, and I did all that off camera because it's just coloring in shapes. So now to do my ripped edges, I know that Jackie doesn't have that in her sketch, but some of my other layouts have that, and I just kind of was feeling it for this one, especially since that polka dot paper already had that torn edge. And I don't want the white edge showing, so I was tearing everything away from me so that I have the full color paper. And normally I adhere my papers together and then tear the edges, because then you can kind of know more how you want that tear to go. In this case, I didn't do that. Here I thought I was going to glue it down, and then I realized, oh, I need to know how big of an area I'm covering on my layout. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere my star paper kind of to make it look like I have that 1/2 inch frame running all the way around. And it's easier for me to see it when it's closer to me, so that's why I turned my mat around. And so far everything is symmetrical or symmetric, so I didn't need to worry about turning it back around. And I'm getting the idea. This is where I need some to cut because I don't need it any longer. So I'm just gonna cut and save that piece of blue with the zip strip. I'll go ahead and add some adhesive to the back of that tear, because then I know I'm getting a good adhesion along that whole edge of the tear. And for me, that just works. So here I'm just holding the paper up 2 inches from the bottom, 2 inches from the top, gonna glue that together. And I feel that that it wasn't, I don't know why, but it wasn't holding tight. So I'm gonna go ahead and glue the blue piece right down to our base, and I hold that 2¼ inches from the bottom. And as you can see, I'm doing the polka dot in yellow 2¼ inches from the top. And there we have the photos along the right side. I'm using this poster as kind of my title, and so I tried it up top, but I think because I chose a red mat for that poster, it was just too much with the polka dots. And I don't know if you saw, but when I was coloring, I had a spot of one of the colors go on the edge of that poster, so I'm trying to find an embellishment opportunity and cover it. So right now Mickey's black left ear is covering that for us. These are more of those Cricut die or Cricut cuts that I did this summer. And now with those yellow up there, I kind of think that the poster is working. So I'm going to see about putting another Mickey ear over that splotch that's on the poster, make another cluster kind of down in the corner. I know Jackie had hers in the bottom and the top, and then it led into the other page, which was great. Since this is a single page, I feel like I can shake up the embellishment some. And I thought maybe instead of more Mickeys, since I have that row of Mickeys along the top, arrows, or I was originally thinking stars would work. So I'm pulling out some arrows here to point to the poster and then to point to Simba. And then I know that my journaling, I'm kind of envisioning it here on my blue. So an arrow is going to point up to that as well. And this is my, I use it all the time, Journaling Jots stamp. So it has 2 sets of lines, and I just love this. So I'm going to go ahead and do that in the Bluebird. So it's kind of a tone on tone. Gives me a place to write my journaling, but it's not another design element. It's not in a color. There's other times that I want it to be a design element, and so I would do it in black or white or something to show up. But for now, I just need to have lines that I can write out my journaling. So I am going back to the stars at this point. I didn't think there'd be big enough ones to cover that splotch, but with that shooting star, it just worked perfectly. So I'm really happy with how this is coming together. I have some other layouts that I've done these clusters of stars, and I think as I put the pages together, having some of those similar elements will make me be able to find companion pages easier. And I will have that full share and flip through probably sometime in November. So I'm going to finish this off with some gems. Below the description, or below in the description of this video, you will find a playlist for all of the people that are participating with 30 Days of Sketches, as well as a playlist just for my videos of 30 Days of Sketches, not just for this series, but previous series where I did like a heritage album for my mom. So I've added gel pen to my Mickey to kind of give it a glint point, I'll call it. And this layout is going to be done. We're going to be able to put this in the album. So there are some links for some of the products you saw being used. Most of the Close to My Heart paper is retired. This is how you can connect with me. Have a blessed day. Thank you.